Good afternoon, everyone. Bonjour tout le monde. I will turn to introducing our speaker in a moment, but before I do that, thank you, John, and also thank you, Norm, for your comments. We're happy to be here once again. This is an opportunity for all of us to talk about what it means to be Canadian, to figure out ways how we can tell Canadian stories, share Canadian experiences in an increasingly difficult environment. I'm also happy that about once every 4 years, well, exactly every 4 years, this conference seems to coincide with the Olympics. And I find the Olympics incredibly inspiring. I mean, when you're talking about Canadian stories and shared experiences, what's bigger than that? And of course, there are always signature moments in that game, in the games like Bilodeau's medal and other things, of course, as well, too. So, and did I mention that I find the Olympics inspiring? I think I did. All right. Take it away. He comes to us from LA town, a lawyer of such great renown. His clients have included John Travolta. He's so good, he's made the list most powerful in Hollywood. He was among Forbes' top 100 lawyers. Peter Dekom, Peter Dekom. He has a wife and son, Peter Dekom. Been on the board of many things, co-wrote a book, taught marketing. He helped New Mexico with legislation. A consultant in media. He's here today to talk to us about the world we soon will inhabit. But first, un peu de français. Juste un peu de français, pas assez de français, juste un peu de français. It's time for me to leave the stage, change my clothes, then feel the shame of flushing my job right down the toilet. So here's the guy you came to see. Please applaud our invitee. I'm sure he'll wow you with his observations. Peter Dekom. Here's Peter Dekom. Let's all welcome Peter Dekom. Thank you very much.
Can you all hear me? Is this on? Do we have to turn this on? Or is there an on switch for this? It's good. Bonjour mes amis et mes enfants. Aujourd'hui, nous avons un petit problème. Oh no, I'm supposed to speak in English. I'm sorry. I don't know how I upstaged that, but I did have a moment of concern when I was in the restroom and realized I had a microphone on. This is an embarrassing moment. And look, I'm going to talk about from the other side of the border. I mean, after all, I come from a place where golf is a winter sport. And I want you to know that I'm the messenger. Please don't shoot me. I'm a trend analyst. I'm going to speak in dollars. And very little of what I'm going to say is stuff you're going to like. But I believe it's true. These are my opinions. I have many of them. Thanks to this CFTPA, Norm, Mark, Lisa, Sandra, Astral Media, and no thanks to John. None. Zero. I don't want to have to follow a guy in a white coat who ought to have little strings on the white coat. Never mind. September 15th, 2008. Our world changed. Lehman Brothers collapsed, the economy fell, and everyone got to blame the economy for every wrong that was going on in the entertainment and media sectors. But in fact, what September 15th meant to everybody here and everybody in media and entertainment and advertising was that every business plan that was not solidly constructed fell apart. Bankruptcies raged. Advertising revenues plummeted. But there was a trend that was going on long before that. And one of the things I find very, very puzzling is why people will pick one aspect of causation and say, hey, you know what? That caused everything. Whoops. There's symbolism in that. I'm not sure what it is. There's a guy named Ray Kurzweil. Ray Kurzweil embraced something called singularity theory, and it kind of, when I heard it for the first time, it kind of changed the way I looked at the world, the way I thought about things. And it's basically, he asked himself, what is the greatest change in humanity in the last millennium? And he answered it by saying the rate of change. 500 years ago, the sum total of information in the universe doubled every 200 years. Now it doubles in months. He actually said if you take the year 2000 as 1 year unit of change, by the end of the century would have experienced 20,000 year units of change. It changes more than data. It changes human beings. It changes how they think, how they expect, how they react. Our brains are rewired. If you look at kids playing video games, and you look at the way they react quickly, moving back and forth. Oh, kids, the way you play video games. But you play them badly if you're not, hate to say this, I think 25 is getting to be a little bit decrepit, you know, a little over the hill. I have a 26-year-old, and he's beginning to realize the limitations of old age, sort of mental arthritis. But it's true. Basically, people don't look at the world the same way. If you notice out when kids text, you think you know how to text. Can you read what they say? They make up languages to make sure you can't read what they say. Why? Because that's the way it is. We're all concerned about blogging and twittering. We think it's really important. But kids under 17 don't blog or Twitter very much. We do. We think it's cool. Do they? We have a lot of expectations about how we act and how we don't act. I saw the other day in the paper, Nielsen conducted a survey of 30,000 human beings and found out that 80% of them will never pay for web content no matter how it's delivered to them. And that in fact, anyone were stupid enough to try and charge them for web content, if there was the remotest possibility of they're getting it anywhere else, they would go somewhere else. They're not playing that game. What are they trying to say to us? And you look at it, the reality is we're oversaturated with content, and yet there's so many people who want to produce more and more and more content. The average American family gets 118 cable channels, but they only watch 16 of them. And as we start looking at this proliferation of content, we realize that the marginal cost of producing any particular piece of content gets less and less and less money unless it can cross over into this mass audience arena. Canadian production and Canadian filmmakers have, for the most part, not been about mass production and mass audiences. We call those immigrants to the United States. Ooh, come on, growl at me, get angry. I'm trying to protect you, but no, you don't appreciate it. We look at the basic reality of Hollywood, a top-down structure. Everybody tells you what they want you to do. They market to you. They push out to you. They tell you the world. But we live in a world where consumers rule, where there are no secrets. And we have a lot of mythologies. I love mythologies. It's destroying your life.